This is the show where, of course, we try to get all your stock-related queries answered. So let's get you a glimpse of what all we'll be discussing for the next 30 minutes. Well, we'll take on board your queries on Sri Renuka Sugars, Reliance Industries from the oil and gas pack, as well as Godfrey Phillips.
Not just that, we have our portfolio advisor segment. So Rahul Bhatia, it's your lucky day. We will be discussing your portfolio.
Okay, let's bring on board then the two guests who will be with us to, to take us through all that's happening in the markets as well. Mr. Chi Chokalingam, who's the Managing Director and Chief Investment Officer at Centrum Wealth Management. He joins in to talk fundamentals. And Kunal Sairagi, CEO of EquityRush.com, joins in to discuss the technicals. Gentlemen, welcome. Thanks for being with us. Let's go straight across to the first query for the day. This one comes in from Mukesh Patni.
On Renuka Sugars, I have quantity of 2000 at the rate 18 rupees. Should I hold it or sell?
Okay, so that is the query coming in on Sri Renuka Sugars. And in fact, Mr. Chokalingam, like many people who have put their money in the commodity space, there's been so much volatility. And for this candidate itself, luckily he's got it at not a very high buy price. But some people who have perhaps been caught on the wrong foot, what would be your advice, and particularly for Mukesh?
Certainly you should sell the stock, because the debt on the book is quite high for a sugar company. It's very difficult to manage the debt in this high cost lending regime. And secondly, the company has made a loss of almost 372 crore for FY13 on a consolidated basis. I don't see the company turning into great profit in the near future. I would suggest sell Sri Renuka Sugar and move on to KCP Sugar. On the contrary, KCP Sugar is one of the most efficient sugar producer in the country, and also least leverage. It's almost debt free, and not only that, it provides a yield of almost around 5.8% on current price, and it has been maintaining the yield since it has been paying consistent dividend since inception, except for 1 year when the sugar industry crashed on a historical level. So therefore I would suggest this shift to KCP Sugar.
Okay, Mukesh, so exit your investment in Renuka Sugars instead. If you are keen on the space as a whole, look at a KCP Sugars instead. But Kunal, talking about the technicals as well, he at least, luckily he's not bought it at a very high price, because this month alone we had the stock dipping to as low as about 15 odd, and now it's at least around that 18 mark. Do you think we are still, there's still quite a high probability that this could dip much lower? He should book out right now when he can?
Well, I think, Megha, the worst may well be over for Renuka. If you look at its overall chart structure, the stock has corrected very savagely from the highs of 120 in 2010, now trades at about 18 rupees. I think there's no rationale to exiting just yet. I think you should hold on. 1650 could be a good place to put a stop loss. With that as your stop loss, if you wait along, I think the stock might well recover back to 25, 26 levels, and you might get a decent exit.
A bit of a contra view there coming in from Kunal. He says there's no need to exit, but you need to keep your stop losses intact and watch out for levels on the upside of close to 21. But you had an alternative come from Mr. Chokalingam with a sell on Sri Renuka. Well, let's move on then to the next query. This also comes in from Mukesh Patil and sent on none other than Reliance Industries.
For long term, I am holding Reliance Industries, 50 shares, and price value of approximately 650 rupees. Should I go for more, or should I hold the same position?
And Mukesh's entry price in at least this case looks quite fabulous. Mr. Chokalingam, given that, we've had discussions around gas pricing, and all, indications suggest that we could see a significant hike kick in next year for this quarter as well. The results were not too bad at all. So all in all, given his buy price as well, should he stay put or probably add more?
Certainly you should hold on. As you rightly said, there is a lot of triggers for the stock in terms of domestic gas price hike, which will increase both revenue and bottom line for the company substantially over the years. And even the US shale gas is doing very well. And then there is a lot of unlocking potential from both the telecom venture as well as the retail venture. Retail top line is doing very well, and recently it has even turned around. So you should hold on, and you should use any volatility in the stock market or the scrip price, which I expect in the next 6 months till the elections are over. So by any chance Reliance corrects significantly, you should aggressively add, because in next 2 years, I believe the stock has the potential to get back to 1500 rupees, partly because of unlocking potential and partly because of re-rating of the stock itself.
Unlocking potential and re-rating is likely to see Reliance touch levels of close to 1,000. So that's where you can look for upside targets. But let's get in a technical perspective then. And while the sleeping giant did manage to arouse, it's only in bits and spurts that we see a movement in Reliance Industries. What is the level, Kunal, that you think he should place his stop losses at? And what's the potential upside in the long term?
Well, Avan, I think there is tremendous upside for Reliance. Once it clears this region of 950, the stock could go all the way back to 1,050, 1,100 levels. So I would concur that the overall structure is quite bullish. The good place to put a stop loss, I think, would be around 870.
Okay, so stay put, Mukesh, as far as your investment in Reliance Industries is concerned. And technically, though, you could keep a stop at levels of 870 odd. Let's move on to the third and last individual query for the day. This one comes in on a Godfrey Phillips. Arnab Singh is here with us from Hyderabad.
GODFREY Phillips at the rate of 3,201. I'm a long-term investor. I would like to know the long-term prospects for this share.
Okay, so let's get in a perspective as to what exactly Arnab can do in the long term with his investment in a Godfrey Phillips. You do have the counter, which has seen a mild uptick in the last 1 week or so. But what's the view on the charts then, Kunal? And what are the levels do you think that he really needs to monitor?
Well, I think Abani has bought a good stock, but probably not at the right price. I see the stock trading in a big, quite a big range. And I think that if the investor holds on, he might get back his price. So my advice would be to hold on. Remember to put a stop loss around 2,500. Hold on to the stock. You might get your price back quickly enough.
Hold on with a stop at 2350, and the stock could then possibly move up to levels of 3,500 odd as well. But if we look at the fundamentals then, this is one of the industries which has partial regulation as well coming through. You have state level taxes coming in, which could impact the volumes as well for the company, given especially in light of the results that ITC managed to put out, the cigarette volume figures they put out. What is your expectations from a Godfrey Phillips, not just for this quarter, but for the next couple of years?
Certainly you should hold on to the stock because though the state governments are increasing the taxes, the fact is that the cigarette business is quite defensive because the price elasticity of demand is almost nil. Whatever is the price hike, the consumers are used to consume the cigarettes because most of them are becoming addict. And though the business is unhealthy for the human being, but it's a very healthy business model from financial perspective, and the balance sheet is very strong and sitting on cash to the extent of around 300 rupees per share. So I firmly believe that you should hold on, and you should hope to get definitely around 3,500 rupees in a year's time.
Okay, business fundamentals look pretty intact when it comes to the overall business model of the company. And you have Kunal also, who concurs with Mr. Chokkalingam, saying that yes, this is certainly a hold candidate. So hope we got your query answered.